you are in a position that I wouldn't say that I envy, in that you are married and you have a business together. So you work together every day. That wouldn't work in my household.
It
so,
don't work.
so, so I think you all give some phenomenal recommendations in the book. You talk about conflict dance, which in transparency is something that I'm familiar with through marital counseling and trying to have a better idea of like how to argue in a healthy way. What I would ask is, there are times when I think even the best of us can still venture into our conflict dance. So, how do you all handle it now when you're kind of straying from your principles when it comes to how you discuss money and business together and you want to get back to center?
Ooh, it's interesting because it's a moving target on both sides. Like the center that you try to get back with is always shifting. And that's probably been the most surprising thing since we've been on this journey, or since we've been on this other side, is that even without the pressures of a job or a career change, your identity is still turning over. Like you are still in this process of discovery and you're still learning things about yourself. And that shifts the household. It shifts what the center is for each of us. And so a lot of that goes back to what Julian said, is we take a long point of view. Like when you take on the identity of an investor, you also start to look at things from a long-term point of view. And we recognize that some of these shifts just take a minute. You don't try to rush it. Obviously, you try to ease the tension enough so y'all not walking by each other, it's silent treatment. But he now has an awareness of when I'm working through something, and I have one where he's working through something. And then you just give them the space that they need, the time, the grace. You give them the support that they need to develop as an individual. And then when they're ready to talk about it, when you're ready to kind of meet in the middle and say, okay, this is who I am now. This is what I prioritize now. This is what I'm going to start doing now. If Julian decides like, oh, I'm going to start cooking in bulk now, it's like, all right, well, we need a freezer. We need to change the way that we shop and store foods. That's just a very surface example, but it's a very real one. There are all kinds of routines and habits and behaviors that change as we continue to grow older together. And we are still learning how to make room for those and to adjust the household, because you've got this third object, which is our son. I don't mean to call him an object, but he's doing the same thing at the same time. There are things and needs that he now has. So I think the key is just to have enough room in your life to be able to accommodate that. When you are so bogged down with work or money stress, when things like that, requests like that, emotional lifts come in from your family, you don't really have room for it and you kind of blame them for it. And in our situation, we welcome it. It's like, oh, okay, there's something happening. There's a growth happening. Let's all readjust to make sure that that happens in a clean way. It's like a plant. That's a bad example. But a
I thought it was
farmer or
profound.
someone who collects plants may understand the metaphor a little more. You just have more room to adjust for it.
That ties back into what I just said in response to a different question, because I don't know exactly what question we were asked before, but I remember Kiersten and I having that conversation about like what rich meant. Like, how do you really know that you're rich? Because that means different things to different people. But I do remember that being a bit of a milestone. It was like the point where you start to welcome risk, right? Like there was a point in your life where risk is like the boogeyman. It is a monster. It is a thing that will take everything that you have, love, and have ever worked for away. And as a result, you want to be really, really mindful of that thing or just avoid it entirely. But you reach a certain point where you've done enough things, you've been around the block a couple of times, you have enough of a cushion where you don't look at things the same way. Like the things that you maybe thought were risky, or not risky, but like scary, are not as scary anymore. It's more interesting. It's more intriguing, right? And I think the
And that
same
includes
thing,
conflict.
that's what I mean. The same thing happens with your relationship. It's like, oh, wow, it says you've been married for a long time. It's like, oh, I found something that I didn't know that you were mad about. Tell me more. I thought I knew everything. Like, I didn't know you
Well, I
really
didn't
hate
used to
that.
be mad about it.
All
Now
right.
I
I
am.
was like, oh, so you're changing. I've read about this.
My dad talks about marriage, and he says the thing about marriage is he thinks that every person changes three major times in their life. And when you put two people in a household, that means that there's six major changes going on and they don't occur at the same times, right? So he's like, I'm married to like my third wife, right? It's the same person, but it's like I have to learn three different people, and she has to learn three different people, and
Yes.
it's just like you don't get an announcement, right? It's like it happens in the middle of the process. Where you're like, oh wait, that joke was funny to you last month, you know, like,
That was last month.
Yeah. Now I don't want to hear it anymore. That's disrespectful. Like what?